Feely. Hi everyone, Feelthany E. Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Hiatus Kaiyote album, Mood Valiant. This is the newest and third full-length LP from Melbourne, Australia band, Hiatus Kaiyote. They're first for BRAINFEEDER Records as well. I'm not really surprised such a hip label stateside would show interest in the group, especially after the explosion of fandom for them online after the release of their 2015 album Choose Your Weapon, a record that I was not able to join in on the chorus of acclaim for because I was just not that into it. For as much heart as it sounded like the band was putting into their unique and eclectic spin on neo-soul, I just felt the writing, performances, and especially production could use some work. Between all the muddiness and clutter in this track list, something was just not translating for me. But I was excited to find that Mood Valiant is a more focused project overall. The songs on this one are tightly structured and written. The choruses pop, they are super clearly blocked out. A lot of the time the grooves go crazy too, whether you're talking about the drum and key combo on Get Sun, or the angular melodies, dizzying rhythms, and slap bass on Chivalry Is Not Dead. Not to mention how out there the lyrics on this track are, where they're kind of diving into love almost at a molecular level. It's like listening to Bjork write lyrics for an Erykah Badu album that is composed entirely by David Longstreth of Dirty Projectors fame, which is a combination of sounds I was kind of getting an inkling of on the last record, but I'm happy to find that they're coming together more boldly and clearly and in a way seamlessly on Mood Valiant. I also found some of my most favorite highlights on this LP to be some of the smoothest tracks this thing has to offer. The track And We Go Gentle features some enchanting and sensual refrains and grooves. Then there's Red Room, which is maybe my favorite track the band has ever done. The beat here is so crisp, and the warm, wavy guitar lines that are featured on this cut are just gorgeous. They flow like liquid from start to finish. The melodic progression on this one is so good, and I'm impressed as well with Napalm's lyrics on this one, how simple and intimate they are and still convey so much. You know, it's great how much he gets across on this track, the sense of place she's able to bring to this song without having to overstate her point. Truly, this track is one of the most transcendent moments in the band's entire catalog. Then there's also Stone or Lavender, which is a stunning piano ballad with some heavy string arrangements. Napalm delivers some really sweet melodies on this one, as well as assuring lyrics. I love hearing the band go this delicate on a track, even if it's a stereotypically soft one toward the end of the LP, because they absolutely dominate in this lane in this particular instance. I'm also blown away by one of the peppiest cuts on this record, and that is All the Words We Don't Say. The band is just firing on all cylinders with this one. From the strange intro that fuses these stern synth sequences with jazzy shots of vocals, drums, and guitar, to the tense and surreal verses that contrast strongly with the bright rushes of instrumentation on the hook. And it's a lot of layers too, between the bass, the drums, what sounds like a sort of woodwind, and all of Napalm's vocals and harmonies. It's the most together that I feel like the band has sounded at this energy level. Because honestly, there are portions of this LP where I feel like Mood Valiant still suffers from some of the shortcomings of Choose Your Weapon. There is a little filler in the track list here, considering there are effectively like two intro tracks, a closer that reads more like an experimental detour than a distinct song. And yeah, once again, the mixes can be a little lopsided, messy, all of the instrumentation, all the layers not really translating all that clearly, which is a shame because it sounds like much of the time the band is arranging grander, larger, cooler ideas this time around, just for them to sometimes just sound oversaturated and jumbled, like with the various rushes of instrumentation on Chivalry Is Not Dead, which are kind of hard to untangle still even after having heard them numerous times. Then there's also Get Sun, which is a track I enjoy some elements of, and it was a lead single to the record, and it's maybe the most instrumentally dense on the LP, but man, there is just no balance or order of operations to the placement of the bass, the horns, the strings that are clear as a bell, and yet like the keys and guitar are slathered in ambient noise. Then there's also Napalm's numerous piercing vocal harmonies. It's all here, but it sounds less like a proper studio recording and more like, I don't know, some kind of like homespun demo. Even some of my favorites in the track list I think could use some touch-ups, like Rosewater, for example. The boldly jazzy direction of this track is part of what makes it stand out in the track list for me. I love Napalm's vocals on this one as well, but God, the bass, the drums, the keys all sound like they are struggling for room to breathe. It's like they are just compacted really aggressively into this tight, noisy ball, while the vocals just kind of like peacock around them in a very whimsical and overstated fashion, which I do find to be beautiful, but they're not woven into the instrumentation all that well. That just kind of feels like it's just moshing it out in this mix in an effort to create space. Now, look, at this point, considering the controversy of my last Hiatus Kaiyote review, I think, you know, I know better than to come on here and tell the fans what's good, what's not, what they should or will like, and so on and so forth. But I do personally find this record to be more enjoyable than Choose Your Weapon. Yes, it is a flawed LP, it has its issues, but I feel like the songs here are clearer, they're tighter, they are, I guess, written with more direction. The performances, even if they are coming by way of recordings and mixes I feel like leave something to be desired, are impressive. I don't see why this album wouldn't be as successful in growing the fan base as Choose Your Weapon was. This thing is a snappy, eccentric, colorful, and kind of out there neo-soul project that has a lot of personality, and maybe into the future the band will continue to clean things up on the mixing and arrangement end. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this one. Tran. Zishin, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Hiatus Kaiyote, forever.